Namaste and welcome to the 85th episode of TeaTalk. This is your Dr.Shilu. And before starting today's very special episode, allow me to read one poem. It's called The Mind. Worn out in distance, day by day, ripping it out further apart, constantly with no humiliation, I am the mind. Kept in silence, building up force within, flooded out the odd, far rectifying it, constantly with no humiliation. Piece by piece, collected agony got diffused itself after seeing the aurora with eminence, constantly with no humiliation. Soared the hopes, judged, not seeing a soul in it, created no firewall between the sockets, constantly with no humiliation. Perception, interception, and iteration, felt, executed, and accelerated to excellence, rendered the mind a solace of eternity with no humiliation. My today's guest is the writer of this wonderful poetry. He needs no other introduction, but he's a PhD doctor with his expertise in e-learning and leadership. धेरै छ अरू कुराहरू. But today I would like to introduce him as a very wonderful poet. And I was amazed after reading his poetry, The Mind, that just blew my mind, and allow me to welcome a very intellectual person in our community and with whom I got an opportunity to work together as well. But every time I meet him, I'm just like surprised with the talents he has. And that just amazed me. So it's my honor to welcome Dr. Om Thapa Chetri. Namaste. Good morning, Dr. Thapa. Welcome to TeaTalk. यताबाट रेकर्ड गरिरहेको छु मैले.
यसलाई एकछिन पज गरौँ ल, मिल्छ? यो स्क्रिनमा यो
अलिकति टेक्निकल के भएको थियो. ठिकै छ, हजुरलाई एकदमै धेरै स्वागत छ यो टिटकमा.
धन्यवाद. Thank you for having me here, Dr. Shilu. I'm really excited.
It's my honor. Before starting, tell us about yourself. अहिले कहाँ हुनुहुन्छ, के गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ?
हजुर, म अहिले टेक्सास राज्यको डालस, पर्टिकुलरली फ्रिस्कोमा बस्छु. र यहाँले भने जस्तै यो म अहिले के यो म चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ पर्सिस्टेन्ट लर्नरको रूपमा म आफूलाई हेर्छु, किनभने लर्निङ नेभर एन्ड्स. अनि आफ्नो फिल्डमा जति जे कुरा नयाँहरू छ हैन, टेक्नोलोजीदेखि अरू कुराहरू के छ, त्यो चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ सामान्य बुझ्न मन लाग्छ. अनि वास्तवमा म युएस आउनु पनि एउटा चाहिँ ठुलो रिजन छ. Back home, I was working at St. Xavier's and other like institutions as well. त्यहाँ काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई के एउटा चाहिँ ऊर्जा मिल्यो भने my dad, my brother, they are there and there भन्ने स्टुडेन्टहरूले चाहिँ एउटा इन्करेजमेन्ट के. त्यसो भए why not to go like abroad to do something, to make some changes in life, जस्तो मलाई फिल भयो. अनि बेसिकली मैले पनि त्यही ग्रेजुएट लेभलको स्टडीमा बर्लिन ग्रिन स्टेट युनिभर्सिटीमा मास्टर्सको लागि एडमिसन पाएर म त्यहाँ पढ्न आएँ. त्यसपछि पढाइ सिद्धियो अनि केही वर्ष त्यहाँको एजुकेसन सिस्टममा काम पनि गरेँ स्कुलमा. अनि पछि फेरि पिएचडीको सिलसिलामा अर्को द युनिभर्सिटी अफ टोलेडो त्यहाँ जोइन गरेँ, पिएचडी सिद्ध्याएँ. 20 मा 1-2 वर्ष काम पनि गरेँ. त्यही सिलसिलामा आई ह्यापन टु get a job offer from the University of Texas, Dallas. And I moved from Ohio to Texas in 2015. Since then, I have been living here, working, and fulfilling some kind of dream and moving further. अनि अर्को चाहिँ मलाई कस्तो लाग्छ भने I believe in collaboration. However, the vision of the team leader is very important. That works unless you have a very good team. If you don't have a good team, that big even vision, dream becomes a bad, dream or bad dream. That's why I really focus on like how our teams are working together, how the collaboration is working. And I also do believe in like individual strength, independent worker. And that's how I am here. And मैले भनिसकेँ अघि नै यो अलिकता ककटेल जस्तो भयो, नेपाली इंग्लिश ठिकै छ. कति वर्डहरु मैले एक्ज्याक्टली नेपालीमा ट्रान्सलेट गर्न सकेको हुन सक्छु हैन. That's part of me. अनि त्यसपछि मैले चाहिँ अलिकता ब्याकग्राउन्ड दिउँ जस्तो लाग्यो ब्याक होम इन नेपाल
Please.
I worked almost over like 14 years as a teacher, particularly St. Xavier schools, Little Angels, LRI, and some nearby institutions. So I was really engaged in so many activities back home. And I was leading a project with the DFID in the UK, and I happened to write a proposal for that project, and it got accepted. So I was the coordinator of that project as well for 3 years back home. And I got some opportunity to grow, to learn and share at the time. अनि त्यही हो अब पढ्ने क्रममा चाहिँ आरआर क्याम्पस त्यसपछि टियु त्यसपछि केयु काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटी अनि त्यसपछि विशेष गरी लेटेस्टमा के अरे प्याटर्न मल्टिपल क्याम्पसमा पनि एउटा चाहिँ सोसियोलोजीमा एमएमा फर्स्ट इयरसम्म पढेँ सेकेन्ड इयर पछि त्यस्तै भएर कति पढ्ने भन्ने भयो छोड्यो होइन अनि अहिले चाहिँ त्यही एउटा चाहिँ ड्रिम एउटा एजुकेसनल फिल्डमा प्रोफेसनल फिल्डमा छु होइन काम गरिरहेको छु I think that's all for now. I think that's me.
Sure, there's so many areas that you have touched. Educational sector ma, Nepal देखि UK यता Dallas मा सबै यति गरिरहँदा चाहिँ एउटा कुरा चाहिँ I took a liberty. I like without even asking for your permission is to read a poem, The Mind. I love that. And that is the reason that poem like simply blew my mind. Ani nosodikana without permission, I shared it today. Tell us about that side. Tell us about a poetic side of Dr. Om Thapa.
Thank you, Dr.Shilu, for asking me. म चाहिँ कस्तो लाग्छ भने कहिलेकाहीँ एउटा चाहिँ लोन टाइगर के जुन आफ्नो मिसनमा हिँडे हुन्छ होइन अनि इन अदर वर्ड्स वी क्यान क्वाइन एज अ डार्क हर्स होइन जुन चाहिँ unbelievable but does an amazing job sometime होइन त्यसले कहिलेकाहीँ एउटा बाई चान्स हुनसक्छ कोइन्सिडेन्स हुनसक्छ or maybe the result of your compound effects one by one त्यो हुनसक्छ त्यही क्रममा चाहिँ म चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ I am a student of English literature as well to be honest.
I didn't know that.
त्यो क्रममा चाहिँ हजुर त्यो क्रममा चाहिँ मैले नेपालमा हुँदा पनि क्याम्पसमा ब्याचलर्स गरेँ होइन त्यहाँ त्यस्तै किसिमको इन्भाइरोमेन्ट थियो सायद मेरो लेभलबाट त्यो बेला चाहिँ I was the first one to publish a poem on a journal. त्यसपछि पनि अर्को चाहिँ त्यही ब्याचलर सेकेन्ड इयरमा अर्को एउटा आर्टिकल लेखेको थिएँ मैले जो नेपालीमा थियो एउटा चाहिँ पूर्वीय र पश्चिम साहित्यको तुलना भनेर त्यो पनि इट वाज रियली लाइक्ड बाई मेनी पिपल अनि त्यो हुँदै अब अनि टियुमा मास्टर्सको क्रममा त्यहाँ पनि पढ्यो अनि अलिकता चाहिँ लिटरेचरपट्टि चाहिँ झुकाव त्यसरी पनि आयो र पढ्दा कहिलेकाहीँ I was myself lost in many ways. Literature makes you crazy sometimes, drives you crazy that you know. अनि फाटाफुटमा लेख्थेँ I may have a couple of dozen of poems and other things, but I haven't really got into that to publish. Maybe it will be successful sometime. That's all about. And the recent product was The Mind.
Okay, yeah, that tells so much because it's a very powerful poem in itself without humility. The words just like took my mind away. So what time do you write? How do you find time to write when you are busy in your like professional job or other areas?
Sometimes like I don't have any particular time, but I do wake up early in the morning and I am mostly thinking, but I am really aware of the surroundings when I even think. That I think the greatest one that makes me satisfied myself as well. तर कुनै एउटा चाहिँ मोड स्विङ गर्छ के मेरो चाहिँ यसो हेर्यो I see everything, visualize something. I don't know, maybe that's me, maybe craziness. And when I visualize something, I just, I'm a person of pen and paper that I may have used that word quite often during our meeting earlier. अनि म चाहिँ जट डाउन गरिहाल्छु कि एउटा फिलिङ आयो ओके भने म लेखिहाल्छु सो अदरवाइज I'll just try to make a note. Even I do the like voice recording, on my phone so that I will remember and go back and complete my thought process that happened earlier or last day. So yeah, I do that. And I do not want to let my family that I'm writing, but I'm talking to them at the same time. I have something, something going on. So that's how I do.
Amazing. If you don't mind me asking, what was the area of your thesis and master's? Because I also came from the literature background, and I was kind of like interested to know.
Wonderful. So it was like in teaching, particularly like a pedagogy of teaching, like how we do it, like as an educator, as a teacher. So what are the things you want to use for your learners to cover a wide range of learners? So what are the things we have to consider upon educating a student, imparting education to a students? So I focus on pedagogy of teaching, particularly in that field. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. It's such a satisfying area because as an educator myself, I always believe that teaching is a form of learning, right? I mean, it's a never-ending journey. So thank you for sharing that. Ani, tell me about some of the choices that you made in life. अघि भन्नुभयो नेपालमा गरिरहँदा okay, let me go, let me find भन्नुभयो र फेरि you have started your education here, completed here and working here. But at the same time, I see that you have been very much like actively involved in the volunteer activities and for the community service as well. So tell us about that.
Yes, I think that is another part I wanted to even share myself. And thanks for asking that big questions. I think that's how I get, motivated day by day. So life depends on good and bad choices to make every day, every moment. So, what I have a strategy of writing like short-term goals, or every day I visualize, okay, what would be my next goal today, tomorrow, or maybe in 3 months or 4 months, something like that. So once I write down those ideas, my goals, I stick a note in front of me and recite every morning. Well, this is what I have to see, because that my imagination of thought process has to be visualized. I can visualize, okay, work, how, go there, right? Visualize. And I have a picture of that, my thinking, my thought process. And once I look at the merits and demerits or disadvantage of over disadvantage and advantage of that particular piece of work, my goal, I just pursue what are the things, biggest achievement I can get it through my choices, good choices.
Sure.
So in having a choice in your life is the foundation of your family. Goes along with that, your family members, history of your family members, and your society, and your circle, and your passion, everything. It is a compound effect.
Right.
So I have, in fact, like 6 siblings, 3 brothers and 3 sisters. Like I am the youngest from my parents' side as a son. And there was a time we were like 6 family members going to schools as a teacher. That was amazing. Like 6 persons going out of the same house to teach in different schools.
Oh my God.
So that was like I myself, my brother, my oldest brother, he was the headmaster of high school for almost 27 years, and he got retired. He's at home. And the like elder one, he's a research scientist in the US. Okay, and my sister-in-law Arvadi, she's a dentist here in somewhere. So there was a big combination of making good choices. Even my like younger sister, she was also a teacher. And see, even my father has a long history of social work and doing other like social activities. So that really compressed myself, to track the grip of good choices itself.
That's really a very wonderful way to present, because who you are, what are some of the choices you make that is influenced and impacted by family, and like with family of that many teachers, educators, and like difference makers, that is really hats off to that family.
Thank you. It's
अनि
pleasure.
अहिलेमा यहाँ भनौँ न आफ्नो काम छँदैछ, आफ्नो साइडको इन्ट्रेस्टको लेख्दै हुनुहुन्छ छँदैछ, कम्युनिटीमा त्यतिकै गरिरहनु भएको छ. So how do you balance your time? How do you manage your like personal life with family? Like you must have to make calls or even in your like immediate family at home and the professional work and community service. How do you balance your work like that? How do you do it?
So balancing your personal and professional life is another big challenge itself. But without any challenge, like you cannot move further for sure. So I accept challenges, and so like personal life is to give time to your family, the first thing, and my second priority would be my friend, and the third would be like my family, friend, and my field. So I just try to make myself easy to learn and understand and recall things like F3, like friend, family, friend, and field. So that's my personal. I look at from that perspective. At the
Correct.
same time, yeah, at the same time, I use the same formula
Okay.
when I go to my professional career, because we have also like family of like same team, family, employees, and we have also they are also our friend, okay, and then organization is a family, and then we have individual as a friend, and then field, which is the expertise, which comes from different expertise of the field, right, from the field. And I look at that component and schedule, write down, talk to them, allocate some time, have meeting with them. And once it work out, then I just, keep pulling myself into that stream of, personal and family, professional life. But one thing is always important. Your family, however, whatever you do, even in your professional field, your family comes first. So for me, sometimes your like personal life, which is really associated with your family, is way powerful, way much more important than anything else. So I prioritize my personal, life first. Okay, how family is doing, what are they doing, how they are feeling, how I'm supposed to sit with them, talk to them. For example, I have two daughters. Maybe I'll explain later on. But one is she's pursuing like nursing, and other is she's in the 8th grade now this year. She will be. They do not want to be with their parents all the time, or mostly. Even I call them, request, hey, come and sit. Let's have a chat. They feel, no, I'm busy with something else. Hold on, I'll come back.
Yeah.
And then I just go and just knock at the door. Excuse me, may I come in? Can I say something? I have to take their permission to speak with them. But that really helps. That's the tricky part, I think. So that's how I manage my personal life with my family members, and making them feel comfortable. And professional life, there is no compromise. Just whatever you do wholeheartedly, get it done, and reflect, review, reflect, and then make a plan in the further, So that's how I manage a personal and professional life.
Definitely. A couple of things that I noted in mind is like having the pen and paper, prioritizing, right? What are important, what not. And but at the same time, as a parent, thank you for sharing, because communication, it is really very crucial. And even though sometimes, I mean, as a growing phase, they don't give us time, but it's up to us how to find that time, right? It's up to how to create that path to reach out to them. And that is, as someone coming from this family science background, that is really important. And you are doing a wonderful job on that. So we all have to learn from that. Thank you for sharing.
I'm trying to learn more and more.
Tell me, if you would not be in this line or other, what are some of your hobbies except poetry writing? And that kind of surprised me. So
See, like I belong to the Chetri family, Tapa Chetri, because as our cultures has our culture has divided the caste society as based on the caste systems, like Brahmin, Kshetri, Vaishya, Shudra, basically 4 areas. And there are like 2 kind of tapas. One's tapa Kshetri, one is tapa Magar. See,
Okay.
right? So the beside poetry writing, I do also as hobby is traveling.
Okay.
And then I like traveling, I like writing, I like talking to people, but listening more than just saying things, because that's how I learn. Okay. And I do have also another very, very, much, let's say, engaged sometimes, that is the photography. Yeah, because somehow it intrigued my interest, and I started looking everything like piscaras, like everything is nice. I do not think anything bad. Even a leaf of a tree fallen on the ground makes some meaning to me. So I did that I was kind of obsessed with photography for about a few years, even like I was doing a PhD that time. And I got a chance to learn something in that field. And I was engaged in different photography clubs back like in Ohio and others as well. And I have nearly 2 dozen of prizes, including one special medal that I won in Canada, Windsor City, among I think 19 different clubs competition, within US border areas, like a Detroit site and Canada itself. However, I was very much obsessed with photography. These days I do, but very rare, because this is the field you will never get good words. Always, oh, this is not nice, this is not right, whatever it is. But my passion still continues in photography. So traveling, photographing, even journaling, writing, and I want to share with people. I don't find there is nothing harm like sharing whatever you do. So I don't find people will find some mistakes and criticize. That's fine. That's how I grow. The aim is to grow myself. So that's what I do.
Someone who has won or earned that many prizes in photography, and someone who is a poet, I mean, like capturing all the beauties of nature and whatnot, right? That's amazing art. So beside that, I have seen that you are involved in the community, and uh, just the recent post that I saw was in the blood side, right? Blood donation, you were there. And tell us about other community services that you are affiliated in Dallas area.
Recently, like I have been involved in BDA, which is Blood Donors of America.
Okay.
So that is, I'm a member of the Texas Blood Donor side. So we do have a team of that. So I have become a part of that BDA, like from this year. Apart from we have a Lions Club that was started last year in August 2020. And so we had our president, which is also known maybe by many, Naran Tripathi, who is a comedian as well and a good actor. And now I will be taking the responsibility of like presidency from this year, from in fact like effective from July 1st.
Oh,
So
right there.
that,
Congratulations first.
yes. And apart from that, I do have also some investment with a North Dallas, Texas group. There is a upcoming like project called like a spiritual and leadership something committee. So I'm also the general secretary of that committee as well. And that's all I would say for now.
Many things. And always in the part of like teaching and building leaders, right? And future generation and whatnot. So tell us share some of the ideas or the tips for the new generation who want to pursue their career abroad. And like, what are some of your tips to them?
So my take about new generation is very, very tricky these days because they pursue their dreams differently than our older generations. We have a generation gap, having degree, updating yourself within your field, you know, using your technology, being able to use technology, integrate. These things are different than guiding your youth these days, particularly, that's very, very challenging, the youth sector. However, they have their own way. They will get to there. So I would say that suggest the youth not to give up their hope. Do not lose your hope. You are unique in your way. You are amazing. You can do it. But keep in mind that every success is the combination of your efforts. Just keep working on it and make good choices. Like I said, you have bad choices. Sometimes you make good choices, but try to incline with your good choices and like, get engaged with the similar minded people, So friend always is not a friend, he can be a enemy, he can be a foe, right? So that's why you have to start out, think, take your time, share with your parents. Don't feel hesitated about anything you want to do or you have in your mind, but open up. Find someone who really believes, trust you, or you trust in him or her, and express your, ideas, your anxieties, your concerns. That's how you can get help or you can move further. So that's what I would say, and pursue your dream.
Of course, and you brought up a very important point that I mean they are unique on their own way, and they're far better in their technology and that different way of learning than our generation. But at the same time, uh, having someone who believes in their dream, who believes in like what they could do, that is really very important. And many times people do not get time to share; they do not have courage to share to others as well, right? So yeah, that's wonderful. How about what are some of your thoughts or suggestions for the parents' generation? Because many times, I mean, as you said, that you yourself has like learned from the family and the family culture, that microsystem and whatnot, right? So for this generation, I mean, not only in Nepal, here as well, there are certain expectations that whether they should take the STEM line or like be the doctor, engineer, lawyer, and whatnot, right? But so what would be your expectation? What would be your suggestion to parents' generation? Because it's there, everything is out there, but yeah.
Yeah, I think a parents' generation has to also realize the potential of their children and trust. Everything depends on trust. So if you do not trust, if you do not sit with them and talk to them, at least be a good listener. You may not be a solution for all, but be a good listener. Okay, the parents has to really, be listening to them, their children, and quite often just have a meeting with them. Okay, come on and share what happened today. Though they may not be coming right away, but something is building in their mind. So in over the course of time, they will definitely follow your directions, your instruction that you set sometime, and that will be that will come out from their unconscious mind to conscious mind. But you have to train somehow. So the biggest thing is trust in their ability and let them independently decide if things are going well. So do not interfere too much. Interference sometimes is not good, but in our culture, we want to take responsibility, or be the leader of our, future children. But that's, I think, the wrong side of, wrong approach. So be a leader, but be vigilant, but do not interfere too much in their private life. That's what I would say.
Sure, yes. because giving them the room to grow and trusting them, being that support, that is really very important. Yeah, for sure.
I
So
would I would add something right here, because as you, Doctor, mentioned, you like the American society and our society. So American society, we know how their parents, uh, give freedom and liberty to their children. That's a different part segment. Maybe it could be a different segment. But in our side, we still think, I mean, we parents, we are the boss of our children, but we are not. Over the age of 18, even under age of 18, they would, your children might have already told you, well, let me be 18 now, I'll go out. Okay? So respect them, okay, and don't be the boss of any, like their, like your children. They are the boss on their own. Let them live their life, I would say. Yeah.
that's a great yeah, that's a great takeaway. And I'm just tempted. This question was not like I was planning, but I'm tempted to know. So why do you think that our children, because our children who are growing here in US, right? So why it is important for them to uh, know of our culture and language? And because I mean, coming from the education side, and why it is important for them to know the involvement in community as well. So the police community as a whole. Why do you
Right.
think?
At bottom line, everything is community. Wherever you go, you have a community. So you have to train your mind how to get into that community, how to assimilate yourself with that community. So engaging with your community, you're taking your children and teaching your language, your own language, really multiplies their interest, and they will find, they will build up their confidence, and they will sometimes they will get pressurized from different ideas and try to implement on their own. So it is very important, particularly our, culture, our generation, to engage in community work, because this is not the community that was built many years ago, like back at home. It is totally different. And we sometimes we also get shocked with these communities' aspirations and their ideas and their setups and everything. That's why we need to know their community. We need to learn skills, develop skills to survive in the community. For example, if you are in any, like Somalia, any African countries, like, Ethiopia and like some other places, like the mindset of their children is totally different than ours. If you are very peaceful, now their children will be very violent from the beginning, because they have to be like that to survive for coming days. Otherwise, they won't get survive. They cannot save their lives. They cannot escape from one danger to another, to safest place. That's why they have to learn their skills. So community shapes our mind. Society shapes our mind. That's why we need to know, at least realize what does society expect and where I stand. It helps you to measure yourself, reflect yourself, and move further one step to another, for survival skills, for job, or your networking as well.
Teaches a lot. You put it in a very wonderful way. Thank you for doing that. So, if time and money were not the issue, what is one thing Dr. Thapa would do, whether in Nepal or here?
Um, um, I think at the beginning somewhere I said, like, everything depends on family sometimes, and I said family interest. But when I was in high school, my parents, they used to tell me, you are taller than your brothers, and your uncle, he is in the army. You have to go in the army. You have to join, you like a Nepalese army. So that didn't happen. If not, probably I could have also joined the army that time. So if that is one like way of looking at me, and the other things, if not, I wanted to be just a social worker long time. from very beginning. Probably I would have engaged much more, as a social worker, or I would have made some kind of image in the society itself. So that passion is still there, but I would have done that, and help the needy people, like look at like in various parts of the world. I want to give away, if that helps, just give away. It doesn't, you should not be rich to give away something to help others. Just have your heart, give away. Moral support, monetary support, and wherever you are, just help. So I would have approached that, ideas way. If I was self-sufficient, I would have established maybe something else that could have, helped the targeted group somewhere in the world.
That's wonderful. Again, I mean, I really love the way you pointed that it's not necessarily monetary value all the time, but whatever you have, what you can give, be there, right? Support there. That's
We
wonderful.
serve. The purpose of the Lions is international. Is we serve. It's not only the Lions Club, motto, the philosophy, but it is the human philosophy that exists. We serve everywhere, anywhere. In war, in peace, wherever there is a need, we serve. In happiness, we serve. In sadness, we serve. But we serve.
We serve. Great. So any plan of like writing more or publishing, or are you working on upcoming book of poetry or any other thing?
To be honest, I do have that plan undergoing. So probably that might be coming true in few months or few years from now. But if you allow me, I would like to share a small one Nepali poem and then one small English.
Please
So
do. Please
it's
do.
not maybe relevant for all, but I would like to share with you right now.
Please do. Because as I mentioned that without even taking your permission, I recited your mind, and I love that. So yeah, please do.
Okay. यो नेपालीमा छ है।
Yeah.
तर त अरू मसँग नेपालमा हुँदा नि धेरै थिए, मैले त्यो डायरीहरू लस्ट गरेँ हैन, भेटिनँ। अस्ति जाँदा पनि भेटिनँ। अरू पनि यहाँ अलिअलि कलेक्सन छ मसँग। यसको टाइटल छ खोज भन्ने, which is the search. यो जीवनमा घाम नै बढी भो, यो जीवनमा घाम नै बढी भो, सहारी कहाँ छ? यो जीवनमा उजाड ऋतु नै बढी भो, बसन्त कहाँ छ? यो जीवनमा घाटा नै बढी भो, साउँ कहाँ छ? यो जीवनमा ज्ञान नै कम भो, खोज कहाँ छ? यो जीवनमा ज्ञान नै कम भो, खोज कहाँ छ? यो एउटा सानो छ है। अब मसँग एउटा यो चाहिँ रिसेन्ट प्रडक्ट भनौँ, यो लास्ट विक लेखेको हो। इफ टाइम अलाउज आई वुड लाइक टु रिड आउट।
Please do. Yeah, this is TeaTalk. I'm enjoying the poetry. Yeah, please do.
So we have the perception of, there is a proverb, let's say, time heals everything, correct? I think but I found like a disagreement with that statement, the proverb, whatever. So I thought of our, country, like present scenarios, or particularly the like exploitations over our, women back home, right? Which is prevalent all over the world, but I'm much more about our community. So based on that scenario, I just have something over here, okay, to share with you.
Yeah.
The title of the poem is Time Does Not Heal All Wounds. All wounds, okay? She lifts a veil from society to reveal her wounds, boldly informs us about the world we live in, often pushes her emotion from tranquility to commotion. And guess what? Let me repeat that. Maybe it will make clearer. She lifts a veil from society to reveal her wounds, boldly informs us about the world we live in, often pushes her emotion from tranquility into commotion. And guess what? A sense of decree riddles her with ceaseless turmoil, grimace, and sever gale. Her faith and hope are being eluded in agony, delusion, delicacy, and apprehensiveness. Her hopes of justice are thinning and evaporating. Oh God, she still unveils a culturally biased society and assaulters, relieving more injustice and hideous crimes as they silently sit there screaming to be shown to the brutal world. She proclaim, sorry, she proclaims revolt against decrees, prompting to rip off the predators with a razor-sharp talons until the justice rules over and again. However, it's been a long time. She feels neither the time has healed her all wounds, nor the society has amplified on her voices. However, time has been a it has been a long time. She feels neither the time has healed her own wounds, nor the society has amplified on her voices. Yasano is a recent last week of creation. Oh?
Issues, yeah, because time doesn't heal always, right? Yeah. Yeah. Keep on writing, and I would look forward to learn more, hear more, but at the same time, get to see the book in near future. I would wish for that.
I will try. You would be the one to just get connected for any advice, for any literally creation. I love to do that in the near future.
Thank you. And is there anything that we are almost at the end of the program? So is there anything I forgot to ask you and you would like to share before we?
No, I think we covered pretty much. I don't have much to say. However, I would like to share with you that whatever you pursue, whatever you dream, you have passion, look at the outcomes or the consequences, look at some of the people they are in the field already and how they are doing it, and just have a roadmap. Just, mapping is very important in your life. And do not discourage your children. Always encourage them. Sometimes they do bad things. They make bad choices. That's how they learn. That's how I think we also learn it. Right. So this world is very strange, but you have to learn some skills where you can survive and fit for the survival. Just the Darwin, fittest, survival, the philosophy. I think that's pretty much. Just keep working.
The mind without humiliation. I just love that. So I would like to end with
would you like to share with me, or would you do a favor to read out if it's handy with you, that poem?
I did actually. I did as an introduction. So without asking for a permission, I love that. So that is how I started it. And yeah, and thank you for sharing. Right. So thank you so much for your time. And I would love to hear more from you in near future as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shilu. It was a great opportunity for me to share like 2 cents. Maybe it does make sense. It does not. That's okay. But I share, and I'm proud of that. And I really, once again, thank you for having me today. Thank you. And namaste.